What is going on, everyone? Happy Sunday. Happy week one of the NFL season Sunday for you, and getting up with us in the Ryan Ripken Show later time than usual. Typically on Sundays, by the way, we're going to be doing this at like 9:30 in the morning. But, fellas, I got to be honest, hands up. I had a little bit of a day yesterday.
Yeah.
And so that threw off the schedule. And we're up here right now in Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in
West Virginia.
At least we got that working this morning.
Yeah,
here.
we got something going.
We do have something going, but happy Sunday, everyone. Appreciate it. We got a lot to talk about. We'll get into this Sunday of football. We'll run for about an hour plus. Tomorrow, we'll get into more about what happened last night. But I will say, at least, you guys watched one of the craziest days for Baltimore sports, honestly, this year.
Yeah. Absolutely insane.
And not even for Baltimore sports. Might have been one of the craziest MLB games on the slate this year.
Mm-hmm.
The Orioles won yesterday, 1 out away from being no hit. On top of it, there was the 30th anniversary of a guy that stepped on a field for 2,131 straight games to celebrate that. Yours truly was on the bump to throw out the first pitch. We'll break that down tomorrow, but
hey, it set the tone.
Some would say the Birds don't have the comeback if the lefty doesn't brush up and in on the first pitch. But, guys, it was a lot of fun, and I look forward to breaking it down more and more. But initial reaction for me, just so you guys know, I appreciate all the love for the family. It was a bittersweet moment for me in the sense that I had the moment to spend with my dad, but I'd be remiss if I said I wasn't missing my mom and my sister being out there who were part of that first night. So that was great. I know you guys want to rib me for the first pitch, and you should. You should.
I'm going to be honest. I have to be honest with you. I was watching, and the second Cal went behind the plate and you started rolling up the arm sleeve, I was like, oh, he's rattled. I was like, this was not in the plan. All of a sudden, there was a late uniform adjustment, and I was like, oh, he needs to be warmed up before this.
Hey, you want one story though, at least from the day, and then we'll table it for tomorrow. Yeah. So yesterday, and I was thinking about, I got to throw out this first pitch.
Yeah.
But I also didn't have pants or dress-like pants that went with any of the clothes that I had, and also I was worried that I wouldn't be able to pick my leg up in the pants. So I went to J. Crew and bought a pair of stretchy dress pants to make sure I had enough flexibility. And I'm in J. Crew lifting my leg in the dress room. And then I walk out to the guy, shout out Caleb, didn't get the last name. And I go, do these look good? They look too tight. And he goes, a little bit. I go, but it looks like I can move in them. He goes, yeah, you look good there. Like, that's it. Bought them, brought it to the field. But then the real worry was I didn't know how low my dad was going to get with his flexibility.
Yeah.
Not because his knees couldn't get down there, but his pants, I go, those are not stretchy material.
Well, and he did not go to J. Crew.
He did not go to J. Crew before there. And I'm sitting there going, man, I've seen that guy rip his pants multiple times. And before we went on the field,
that would have been the greatest.
I said, hey, can you squat down and show me, show you what? I said, how far are you dropping down? And he just starts lower and lower. And I go, that's not that low, man. I said, I need to know what my target is. So I didn't know where my target was going to be, but I got to give him credit. He got down there.
He did.
But I was expecting my eyesights were higher.
I'll say this too. His reflexes with the, up and in.
He's still, he
was quick about it.
He went and got, I will say, and British Raven brings it up here. There have been a lot worse. Like you getting it to the plate and like it's in the general vicinity of like, it might have been a few inches outside, but the number of people, even like former ball players that airmail it or just spike it.
Yeah.
That was one of the best case scenarios was if it's like you were slightly outside because then we could rib you for it, but also it not be like a horrendous, you bounced it 2 feet in front of the plate.
I mean,
at least Calvin caught it.
Yeah. You know what? What would have been better? Ball in the dirt and he's got to go down in the suit to block it. Would he have done that?
You should have stepped off. You should have used one of your disengagements.
I should have. But here's
check
the thing.
over to first.
And you know, am I happy with my performance on there? Absolutely not. And I'll break that down tomorrow on the show. We'll be live from 4 to 6, as well as talking about the slate of games here in the Sunday night game with the Ravens and obviously the Commanders. We got a lot of Commanders fans here in the region, right? So we're going to talk about all those games. I'll break that down tomorrow. But I did want to send a message. I talked to Gavin Sheets yesterday, Baltimore guy, good kid, saw his dad, Larry, who's my coach in high school. I've known Larry since I was born. And Gavin said, you know, a little up and in. And I said, you know what? I pictured you were at the plate and you were getting too comfortable and I had to brush you off the dish, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? So shout out, Gavin. Go Padres out there, by the way. I want to see them do well. And that's all I got. It was a magical night. We'll talk about all that and a whole lot more. But once again, September 6th, there is just some craziness in the air, and you cannot script what happens on that day. But what we do know is the Orioles' magic truly does exist, and it comes to life whenever it is September 6th. But, guys, it's September 7th. We're live up here at Hollywood Casino Charlestown Races, and it's week 1 of the NFL season.
Football, baby.
It's that feeling.
Were we not just in New Orleans?
You know what?
It
does feel like we were like, I kid you not. I feel like I can still taste the hand grenades. Like that's how recent it
chill
feels.
go through my body when you say that.
You know, I feel like it's the dog that has the helicopter flying over, and you're looking dazed, and the memories coming back of. Lost a lot of good men out there.
We were out on the Bourbon Street singing West Virginia, and we were just having ourselves a good old time. But we are back, new season, and it does feel a little bit like deja vu as the Ravens play the Bills tonight at 8:20 p.m.
Yeah, that's where it all started for the Ravens, right?
That's where it
ended, and that's where it's starting here in 2025. And I got to say this: if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan. Of course, would you have loved the first home game? Of course, would you have loved to see Buffalo maybe later on the season? But I kind of think it's poetic for Mark Andrews to go back there this first week, to go up there. I think he's going to have a big game. Brad definitely does. We're going to save that for later on. But great place. That's one of the iconic games, at least today, or one of the primetime games, and it's a reason why it's a Sunday night one. Ravens, Bills, two teams with Super Bowl aspirations, two unbelievable quarterbacks, two great organizations right now.
Yeah.
And we know we talked to a lot of people. We had Chris Berman on the show recently. He was the one that called the game 30 years ago in Baltimore for 21-31, but we all know his football background. He said, whoop, and then goes, the Ravens, just like we all know, they have the best roster.
Yeah.
Right now, talent on the team. And actually, you got that clip, Zach? Why don't we play that clip from Chris Berman if you need a little refresher of what he thinks about this Baltimore Ravens squad?
Hope for my Ravens, please. Right? You're telling me there's a chance here in 2025.
Oh, of course. Well, there's no team better than them. I mean, Philly might argue they're defending champs, although like most defending champs handle it right. They've been speaking like the Chiefs always do in more recent times, and Belichick always did, for example, that's for the history books. So, I mean, Philly's not, that's what they did last year. They'll say, well, we hope to be as good this year or better. But there is no team, Eagles included, Chiefs included, Bills included, better than the Ravens that have a top to bottom roster better.
So right there, you heard it right there from Chris Berman. He loves his team.
Yeah.
And Chris, I'm going to come talk to you in like 2 minutes. So hang on there. We're doing it live right here at Hollywood.
We'll do it live.
But here's the thing. There's no doubt the Ravens have a tremendous roster.
Oh, yeah.
They've never really, in any time since Lamar Jackson's taken over as the quarterback, they've never lacked talent by any means. They really haven't. Now, have they had more talent other years than some? Well, everyone thought back to that 2023 year, AFC Championship game. That defense, that team was the best team that they had. But I got to tell you guys, Brad, right now, 2025, to start the year, The only weakness and unknown is with Tyler Loop. Everything else is stacked.
I don't even know if that's a weakness or an unknown.
Exactly.
I mean, we talked to Nick Moore about it, and he said that Tyler's locked in. Guy can hammer it. So I don't know if I have too many worries there. And Zach, remind the audience how many first rounders are in that secondary.
A lot. I mean, you get Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Marlon Humphrey, Jair Alexander, that Nate Wiggins. I mean, 5 right there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
right.
I saw this, and I want to say this is absolutely hysterical. I saw a Bills account going through the keys of the game, and they said, pick on Nate Wiggins.
Oh, yeah. I dare you.
I'm like, one, it's crazy because you could probably argue that might be your best option. Like, oh, that's the weakest link. Nate Wiggins is still has the potential to be a premier corner in this league, but that shows you the depth of this Ravens secondary.
He had a stellar rookie season.
The depth is, we just have to hope that their weakest link, you can get past him, but their weakest link is a second-year, corner, and the sky's the potential.
The ceiling is the roof.
Ceiling is the roof.
Is what Michael Jordan would say, right? but that's the part of it for Baltimore. So many great pieces. And who can take the next step? How are some young pieces going to fill in? Starks being one of those guys in the secondary who there might be some growing pains.
Yeah.
First game in the NFL happened with Kyle Hamilton early his rookie year. But Nate Wiggins, like in that case, you saw the potential early. He came on late, and now you expect him to take a big jump. You also expect the other receivers around the Ravens and Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman to continue to ascend. You expect Mark Andrews to be Mark Andrews.
Right.
Oh, and then, by the way, Lamar Jackson, each and every year, it's hard to believe, you think he gets better. And last year, statistically, he has his best season, one of the best seasons for any quarterback. And people can argue, hey, Josh Allen, congratulations. He definitely is worthy of winning an MVP, but Lamar Jackson, once again, had another MVP season because of the player that he is.
Statistically, it was a better season than Josh Allen last year.
It was one of the best seasons ever.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is the beauty of the game here. Now, I want to say one thing going into this, and then we'll talk a little bit about Washington because we have 2 guests on here that are representing both squads, by the way. But to close out with the Ravens for one moment, week 1 is strange, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Week 1 in general. We'll talk about that as well because we are here up at Hollywood Casino, and we're going to get into some fantasy and some bets. Week 1 can be a falsehood in some cases.
Yeah.
Because every team thinks they have a chance. Some teams are coming out of the gate slow. Not a lot of guys playing the preseason. And last year, remember, the Ravens lost the first 2 games. Kansas City, that was a tough one. But then came home and lost to the Raiders. The Bengals lost at home to the New England Patriots in week 1. Now, the Bengals had a lot of troubles in September as it was. But there's a lot of upsets. There's a lot of covers. And there's a lot of games that are just ugly. And there's some of those on the slate here that we'll talk about. Steelers and Jets being one of those that could be who knows what to expect. Or maybe the Washington Commanders playing the Giants, where the Commanders are heavily favored. And now the expectation is to go back to the NFC Championship game. But I got to tell you what, I don't think the Giants are going to be as bad, Zach, if all said and done here. But I digress.
A little dangerous.
Yeah, a little dangerous. But, guys, why don't you – I'm going to make sure I'm going to do a quick round to get our guests. But our 2 guests, by the way, Washington tight end legend Chris Cooley. And if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, well, he had the best running back season of all time for a Baltimore Raven. Yeah, Derrick Henry was great, but who did it first? Jamal Lewis, who helped the Ravens win Super Bowl 35. He's in the building today. Both will join us on this Ryan Ripken Show. But, fellas, talk with the audience for a second and make sure I get the time in when the guys are coming on, all right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hey,
I was gonna say real fast, appreciate all the love on Facebook. We have a lot of interaction over there, which is awesome. So make sure you are hitting that like button, share if you would be so kind. But it's been awesome. People fired up for the first day of football.
I cannot wait. There is other games going on. So if you are a fantasy football guy, what have you, there are 1 o'clock games that are going to be important, as well as those 4 o'clock games before that Ravens play this evening. Zach, who do you got your eye on the fantasy side of things?
All right. So for fantasy football, I think the 1 o'clock games, there is a lot of, I am a big Jamar Chase fantasy owner. So obviously, number one pick, that's not going to be my, who
Yeah.
I'm really looking at as like a underrated pick. But I'm going to be honest with you. Someone that I really feel like maybe is having a better game or season than people think is Marvin Harrison Jr. Against the Saints mostly today, because let's be honest, let's call it as what it is. The Saints are not a talented football team.
No.
Like they might go out there and shock everyone and win a few games, all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's the NFL. Crazy things happen. But overall, I think Kyler Murray, they've had a year together, he and Marvin Harrison Jr. Everyone is going to be focused on Trey McBride, on James Conner. Like, okay, we're going to have to stop them. I think that Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of falls to the wayside, and everyone's talking about Malik Neighbors from last year's class, about Brian Thomas. And you're like, okay, there's some talented guys, but there's a reason Marvin Harrison Jr. was selected first. And I think he's got that talent. So I'm extremely excited to see year 2 for Marvin Harrison Jr. Got really buff. Don't know if that's going to help him, but got really buff.
Yeah. So for me, I think we just heard Aaron Rodgers say that he is now playing with the best tight end group that he's ever played with his entire career, which is saying something considering he's played for about 45 years or so. I think Pat Freiermuth is a sneaky good fantasy option if you either have drafted him or maybe he's sitting on waivers, what have you.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers is saying that about his tight end group, I have to wonder if you're going to see a lot of that in this 1:00 game as well.
Yeah, I think he and Jonnu Smith, that's a guy that I'm really intrigued with Pittsburgh, is how they'll use the 2 tight ends set with Arthur Smith, obviously the OC. I think Jonnu Smith is going to be a big, whether it is he gets some attention that opens up Freiermuth, if Freiermuth gets attention that opens up him. I think they're going to lean heavily on their tight ends to kind of, I think all eyes are going to be kind of like we've talked about DK Metcalf. Like it's, it's the shiny new toy.
Oh,
It's the, you're what, $33 million new wide receiver. So everyone's going to be like, oh, eyes are on him. I think Jonnu Smith is and I know, Ryan, you like him a lot. He's a very underrated get by the Steelers this offseason.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, Pittsburgh, it fits what Pittsburgh wants to do.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh likes to play tough defense. And then, they say they want to be that offensive juggernaut, but they like to win ugly. That's their style.
Yeah.
Run the football. They got Jalen Warren. You draft Caleb Johnson. I forgot who else they brought in, who actually is ahead of Caleb Johnson right now on the depth chart. It's going to bother the hell out of me. But you got Jonnu, you got Pat Freiermuth. And then, you got DK Metcalf, which DK might now threaten for double-digit touchdowns. Rodgers will latch on to one guy.
He will.
So, and no one is more of a specimen in the NFL. Size, ability, athleticism than
Speed.
DK Metcalf, speed. And so I'm really excited from that perspective. And if you're a fantasy guy, I'm curious where that fits in because I do think DK Metcalf from a talent perspective is one of those guys.
Well, and that's what we were saying just before you came back was, Aaron Rodgers had mentioned that this is the best tight end group that he's ever played with. So it'll be interesting to see who he actually favors as his target or if he's just going to spread the ball around.
Yeah.
We did get a donation from Grumpy Moose Gaming. So hyped after the O's game last night, had trouble falling asleep after the game, feeling sadly lacking most of this baseball season, but wow. It was an incredible night last night. On that regard, I think it's also important to mention we were going to talk about this, our channel memberships. It's a good time for that now that we got that donation. So thanks, Grumpy Moose. We did revamp our channel memberships. I saw a couple people making notice that maybe their emojis weren't there. We did have to kind of shut it down temporarily because of the way that logistically YouTube makes this upgrade thing. So we had to do a little bit of an upgrade with our channel memberships. We're revamping it. We're making it where we're giving you more stuff. And we wanted to make the best possible experience ever for you guys, for our channel members. We love the support that you've given us up to this point. And so we wanted to make it better. And we are doing that. It's going to be more robust. We're giving you more content. Every Friday, us as a group is going to give you picks for the upcoming weekend when it comes to football. And it's going to carry over into baseball as well. and Rip After Dark will be for our Rips Better Kids. So we'll have Rips Good Kids and then the Rips Better Kids Club. So if you're a better kid, you get all kinds of goodies. Make sure you hit that join button next to subscribe. If you want to help support us on the channel membership side, get so many good stuff going. And the Rips Good Kids is plenty good. But if you get in the Better Kids side with Rip After Dark, there might be some special guests there as well that you won't see on the regular show. So you're going to want to get there if you want to see that.
Yeah, we might have some of my own former teammates that want to pop in and say hello. Obviously, the group here and some of the moments. So yesterday was 21-31. Of course, we're going to talk about it extensively on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
But a little bit more behind the scenes and even some other photos, opportunities. And when baseball season happens, you mentioned about the watch list or what we have.
Yep.
Well, guess what? When the winter meetings come around, because guess what? Stop traffic. We're going to be down at the winter meetings. We'll give you some insight on what we know ahead of time to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
And we're trying to just revamp it. And again, we appreciate your patience. We are a small crew here at the Ryan Ripken Show, but our numbers are growing rapidly, and it's a big reason because of our community, because of all of you. So we appreciate everyone, each and every one of you. So hit that like and subscribe button. And obviously, joining the channel makes this better so we can keep doing things like this and keep giving you all the content. And by the way, we mentioned about 21-31. I sat down with my dad. There's some other interviews that have yet to be released of some of baseball's best. And then come Monday morning, Zach, we might have one of football's best. Not a Raven, but some say he's one of the best left tackles of all time. So stay tuned for that one.
Hall
you guys
of Famer.
will see. Pretty good. Some would say he's pretty good.
Another Iron Man type.
There's another Iron Man type. Some would say.
Some would say.
Some would say. Well, guys, we are going to have Chris Cooley and Jamal Lewis joining the show, which might force Zach and Brad technically off the screen. We'll see what happens here. One at a time, or maybe both at a time. I don't know, whatever the heck they're doing. But we got to ask Chris about the.
I've been looking for a wall that we could throw a football through. It's
Wait,
do you
they
think
coming
it's
on
like
at the
a
same
party
time?
trick he does, where it's like, okay, do you guys have a football on a piece of drywall real fast?
Are they coming on at the same time?
I'm not really sure. You know
well,
what?
Jamal's over here.
Well, we could do one at a time then too. They said they're both hanging out until they got to get going here at 1 p.m. We're at Hollywood Casino. They're all going to be here through this early window action, just like we are. Yeah, we'd love to talk to them about how the season opens up.
Sure.
I know they have stories. Everyone loves a good story here.
Hell yeah.
And for this time right now, whether you're a Ravens fan, Commanders fan, if you're in this region, it is good when these teams are good. Yeah. It's great for the area.
Yep.
So I love to see that. And if you're a football fan, even if we don't like your team, well, hey, welcome back. It's week one.
I do just want on record looking over there. If you set a line for Jamal Lewis to run for 100 yards right now, I would take you over. Still prime shape right now.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, guys, appreciate all the love. There's so much. I don't know. I'm in a good mood, maybe because you're in that delirious stage where you go to bed so late and you're happy. But it's football season. Hell of a game last night.
Yeah.
I mean, coffee does wonders to the mind and body. Maybe not to the body, but
buys a
cheers to caffeine. Well, tequila does that too.
The amount of people that were, I mean, the star power that was there, I should say. Ken Griffey Jr., Brady Anderson, Bobby Bonilla. I mean, Rafael Palmeiro, a rare Rafael Palmeiro sighting.
Yeah.
Just so many great names, so many great players and friends that were just there. It was really, really great to see.
The fifth inning where they recreated that was really cool yesterday. I did think that Cal was going to do the whole field lap. I was like, oh, they're making him do the whole lap on foot now. I was like, this is what they're doing.
Woof, man. You know what? Some would say, and by some me, he might have gone around the field quicker than he did in the car. Like in my mind. But he was in a suit, maybe hard to move around. Gosh. Kind of as a whirlwind. It happens in the blink of an eye. It's over.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like I said, it was a great moment. But for me, it's always not that it's incomplete in any way, but you guys know I'm a big family guy.
Yep.
My sister and my mom were a huge part of that night. I would have loved for them to have been there as well. And Kelly, been the backbone of the family. If you guys saw that adorable photo of me on Instagram, my mom also looks great. I look adorable, though. I want to emphasize that. But
your mom hasn't aged a bit, mother.
I know. No. I tell her that all the time. I said, I need those genes.
Yeah.
I said, no offense. I know that everyone goes, you look like your dad. I go, well, I hope I get the genes of my mom because she looks the same that she did 30 years ago.
I mean, yes, you look like your dad, but there's definitely times where certain last facial expressions, your smile, and all, people don't realize how much you actually look like your mom.
Yeah.
It's just a great mix. People don't realize that.
Yeah, I hope I have the hairline from my mom's side of the
No
family.
chance.
If not, your boy is just, you know what, Sunday, we're having fun here. Yeah, your boy.
I was gonna say I've seen some
screwed.
pictures. I was gonna say I've seen the pictures of your dad back in the day. The hairlines. We found a match. We found a match. I don't know if it was on the.
And Chris Berman even had mentioned about your hairline receiver.
Yeah, shots fired. We're reminiscing about a night, and you want to bring that up. Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like if I had a nickel for every time one of our high-end guests called out Ryan's for his hairline, I'd have like 6 nickels, which isn't really a lot, but like it's kind of crazy. It's happened that many times.
Oh, shirts and pants. Well, hey, I'm gonna see if we can get one of them to come on now.
Okay.
And then we can rock and roll. I think that the best way would be to stagger. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Just to keep it easier.
And then we're gonna, as we get closer to the end of the show, we're gonna get our best bets.
Yeah,
fantasy corner in there, rocking and rolling, and yeah, we are hitting it hard tomorrow with the recap. We're back now, and again, if you're new to the hours of our show for this fall, Sundays, get up with us on our NFL Sundays, 9:30 in the morning. Typically, is what we're going to do.
Yeah,
because we're not trying to get you ready up until 1 o'clock because everyone has your own thing. But you can get up with us, make some drinks with us, contemplate what you're going to put on maybe some hip parlays or who you're putting in your fantasy lineups, and have a good old time. And then, on Monday and Thursday from 4 to 6, we're going to talk about all that and more, from football to baseball. Whatever the hell happens on the Ryan Ripken Show. You guys know we like to have fun. We like to have some banter. So that's all I have to say about that. I cannot wait for the first round of games, guys. It feels like Christmas it does for week 1. And then it's going to feel like Christmas again in week 2. Unfortunately, next week, you guys know I'm not going to be here next week for the Ravens' first home game. And Joe Flacco's coming back, though.
He is.
So, like, the storylines for the NFL, that's what makes it so fun. It really, really does. Unless your quarterback gets hurt or something like that, then your year can be ruined and you're a puddle.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can get Chris Lupton's attention here. Yeah. And then we can – I'll just go talk to him for a second.
Okay.
Tell the good people some words real quick.
Zach.
Yeah. All right.
You had mentioned that you practiced a shit ton of degeneracy before the show as we were sitting in the
uncomfortable amount
in the parking garage. Just why don't you shed some, not giving away our picks for the end of the show, but what else you got going on over there?
For just some, I'll go get some anytime touchdowns. I have one parlay where it's Jonathan Taylor, Bucky Irving, and Jahmyr Gibbs at plus 460. So 3 guys I feel like can find the end zone.
Yeah.
We good here? Switch.
We're kicking Zach out. Beat it, Zach. So joining us now, if you're a Washington fan, you definitely heard the name, seen him play quite a bit, or maybe you saw one of the commercials that I got to ask you about way back in the day. But Chris Cooley, appreciate you taking some time. I'll start with that commercial. You know what I'm talking about with that? The fantasy commercial back in the day?
Yeah, Brian. And the funny thing about that is it's on TikTok and Instagram now, and it's circulated back through. Iconic. And so I have friends. We moved to Wyoming 6 years ago. And so I got a bunch of buddies out there that keep texting me that video and asking me if I remember this. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it.
I was there. You know,
And then so I'm also coaching wrestling at a junior college in Powell, Wyoming, which I love. And our wrestlers find it amazing that this could be a real thing. How could you possibly do that?
Yeah, can we walk through like how that actually came to be? Because first off, it was genius. Two, you looked like a badass too, of just right through the wall. How many takes? First off, how many takes did it take for it to be the perfect rep?
Well, I mean, I practiced it for like 2 months before to get it right. You know. Oh yeah, so no, Reebok did those fantasy file commercials, and there was a bunch of guys, and they were really cool. They're all pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they explained that we're going to go to this spec home near my home, and we stop at Home Depot and buy like 20 sheets of drywall. And the first few sheets, you can buy drywall in 3/4 inch or 5/8 or just under 1/2 inch.
Wow.
And the first few sheets are 3/4 inch drywall.
Yeah.
Which I can punch through.
Yeah.
But pulling a football back through a 3/4 inch drywall is not really that easy. So they had to go back to Home Depot and buy 1/2 inch drywall.
So
it was, but by the way, it was actually right by Home Depot.
Oh, then perfect.
So, yeah, they just bounced over there and buy a few more sheets. So they just kept rehanging a couple of these sheets, and I would punch through the sheet, obviously catch the ball,
Obviously, yeah.
and
Never
then
drop it.
pull the ball back through the drywall.
You're always known as a reliable receiver, even as a tight end. Great hands, but actually that wasn't made up. That wasn't fake. That was you actually.
No, I didn't catch the ball. Some dude put it in my hand on the other side and they cut it.
You missed an opportunity
Come on,
here,
that
Chris.
was the point right there, Chris. I was saying it's true.
If you believe it's true, you like WWF or WWE.
Hey, you know that's not real, Chris.
Come on, man.
Chris.
Jeez.
Oh man.
No.
Oh no.
But it did take about 20 takes. They were putting makeup on my arm where it was scratched and cut.
Well, it was iconic to say the least. You know, besides the commercials, you had a great NFL career. For those that don't know going into a season, what's something that you remembered from week one, starting the season off fresh? Is there anything that jumps out in your mind?
Week one, to me, is an incredibly important week because the training camp, which is still, there's a lot of longevity to it now. Yeah. It's not as much as far as 2-a-day practices for these guys.
Right.
But the time is, I mean, you're there for 6 weeks, 12 hours a day.
Right.
And it becomes this press to week one. And I think it shows a lot of preparation for what the team's done through the first 6 weeks to get ready to play a football game. And to me, it was one of the most devastating losses. If you don't come out of week one, you're like, gosh, dang, we just worked our butts off forever. And I don't know. I always felt like there was a lot of pressure on the first game, and then you get rolling. Yeah. Then you get going, you get into the season. But it is also interesting, and I think this is still the case. Teams install offense, they install defense through training camp. There's not a lot of game plan through preseason games, which are less now, by the way, but there's not a lot of game planning. Then you go through this base of your offense, your defense, your installation, and then you get to week one, and it becomes this new playbook of the same verbiage, but look at all this cool new stuff. Yeah. It's like a new toy for week one. Yeah, and then that becomes every week. I mean, every week there's a new game plan put together and different plays and different things. But yeah, it was always a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were saying, it's just like baseball has opening day, and that's my background, Chris. Grew up in a baseball family, and even for everyone around the country, that's like a holiday when opening day happens for baseball. But I would say in the NFL, every week's big. When it's the first game of the season, that excitement, everyone thinks they have a chance, even when their team's maybe not projected. And you're right, you never know what can happen. You got to go out and play the game, and something magical can happen. You can get on a run. I mean, heck, Washington was that way last year, where go down to Tampa to start the year, get smacked a little bit, see some upside, but then Washington got better and better as the season got on. They peaked at the right time, had a great year, fortunately finished not where they wanted to be, but go to the NFC Championship game, and now you're on the doorstep of what you think you can do moving forward, and I think that's an interesting part of it. And as much as you've had some great moments, you went through some rough years as well in Washington and trying to deal with all of it. What is one of the things in a day-to-day in the NFL season that you don't think people know enough about?
That's a great question. I think that you just don't quite understand the amount of preparation that goes into one football game.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I would have rather played baseball or rather played basketball or just went and played games.
Yeah.
I mean, the structure of a day of being in at 7 and lifting or 6:45 and lifting, and then having a special teams meeting, and then having a 3-hour offensive meeting, and then having a walkthrough practice, and then watching your walkthrough practice before you go to lunch, and then coming back and watching film as you prepare to go to practice, and then having a very hard practice. I regret that they didn't change the pads rule, because I played for Joe Gibbs my first 4 years. We had pads on Fridays.
Right.
But and then you come back and you watch practice. You watch every single thing that you do. And I think where that gets missed some is when you're around high school football or so even Pop Warner, nothing's videoed.
Yeah.
Right.
Very few teams. Granted, I know a lot of good high school programs video practice, but most don't. They just go out, they practice, and they think, well, it seems like we had a good day today. Shoot, we watched every single part of practice. You watch the individual stuff, you watch the team stuff, and you evaluated every single day. That's actually one of the things I miss the most in my life. It's hard to find a world in which you're evaluated day to day on the job you do.
Yeah.
Day to day, you're given a feedback of exactly how I did, exactly what I did well, exactly what I need to work on.
Yeah.
On a daily basis.
It's
Work on my pockets.
It's a unique perspective that you brought up, and I don't even know if I even thought of it that way. It's like you have a week in between each game where if it's like baseball or basketball, what have you, you don't have time to think about the next game because you're in the one now and you get another one tomorrow. You're playing, 162, whereas like you got a lot of time to think about, okay, how are we going to play this offense or that defense or what have you. So that's interesting that you say that.
Yeah. Well, and I still believe it's so structure and coach oriented and game plan oriented, and that's why obviously good coaches that are able to create culture, which is hard in an NFL level because of the guys that are in and out every year and because of the pay scale. But good coaches that are able to bring the right kinds of guys in matter, but also guys that can game plan in a short turnaround make an incredible difference.
Yeah, you just mentioned that made me think of this. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit more on a coach that can set a culture, because that is so important to have the leadership and the understanding of what you are trying to do in the building. And then there are guys that scheme and structure what you're trying to do and game plan better than others. That's everything. Is there the ones that you identified when you played that were either tremendous leaders for setting that, or you thought were some of the best game plan guys? I mean, I know you mentioned, Joe Gibbs is a legendary coach overall, but could you speak on the difference there, and then maybe some guys that you even not that coached you, but that you appreciated when you played against, because you're like, damn, they are really hard to go against because they scheme so well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because I'm going to give you names, and you mentioned that we struggled. We did. We struggled every year. It was a struggle. But for 4 years, we played for Joe Gibbs, and his leadership is something that I would model myself after as a coach. And to simplify this, Joe made everybody feel important in the role that they were in the time that they were doing the job.
Yeah.
And he would emphasize running down on kickoff and being able to cover a punt. And those were the guys that were glorified in our team meetings. And everyone that was around Joe felt like their role mattered. They were important. They were a big part of our team. Our practice squad guys were important. They were talked about. They were shown what they were doing and why. And I've always loved that. And in doing that, I would have done whatever Joe Gibbs asked me to do. I'd run through a wall for the guy. The same respect. And almost all the coaches I had, I liked. You mentioned a game plan coach. I played for Mike Shanahan and was around that group, which involved Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, Raheem Morris, Mike McDaniels, Kyle Shanahan. That staff was a remarkable game plan staff.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, you kind of if you put those two together a little bit more in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I think there's a massive chemistry that can happen. So,
Sure.
but it does change, guys, every year because coaches aren't always given the authority to draft all the players they want, to acquire in free agency the players they want, to keep the players or sign the players they want. And so to build and create and then keep a culture is an evolving deal.
I think that is so important to understand. Year to year, it changes. You could have the same team, but it's never the same team when you come back. But from the outside looking in, the roster could look pretty similar. But there's so many different issues that happen, whether it is injuries, whether it is you're not able to adapt. Maybe the other team that you're facing now has made adjustments. They have gotten better.
You have coaches that move on.
Training
staff, whatever.
Everything changes on a year-to-year basis, and it does change on week to week. I mean,
it makes a big difference when you have a quarterback or a big-time player that stays for a long period of time with a head coach, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because that player transitions and turns that chemistry and that culture into the locker room. And when you look at teams that keep quarterbacks or you keep the chemistry of coach quarterback, it seems to be the most winning formula, in my opinion.
Well, think about that right now. Green Bay Packers had 3 over the last 3 decades. Being in Baltimore, the Ravens, Joe Flacco, Lamar Jackson. They've been successful over the years now.
Well, and you got Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta. I think there's also that relationship with coach and general manager, I think is also super important too.
McDermott and Josh Allen now with the Bills.
Right.
That's stability.
And Bean.
I would say Washington, you had a little bit of a carousel of trying to find the right fit. Now everyone thinks Jaden Daniels and then maybe Dan Quinn are going to be the option.
Well, and I think Terry McLaurin too, and you could speak to this, Chris. I think just keeping him there, I think was super important just for the intangibles for that team.
I had a chance to be around Terry for a couple years. In terms of quality of a player, leader, teammate, and worker, I couldn't say more about what a kind of guy Terry McLaurin is. I think that's so huge. And I don't know Jaden. I haven't been around Jaden, but in hearing what everyone has to say about him, there's something special in his ability to lead a team, in his demeanor, his poise.
Yeah.
And you watch him, and it's amazing. You can almost see he's calm, but it's this dare him moment. Okay, dare me, I'll go do it.
Yeah.
I will go do that deal. And in our carousel, I played with Mark Brunell, would be the only quarterback that I would say would walk on the field in a late moment of a game and go, let's go win it. Now, Mark was late in his career and it was almost over, but you stepped in the huddle with Mark Brunell and you went, okay, we'll do it. Now, we didn't always do it, but you believed it.
You're telling me there's a chance.
I liked a lot of our – I ended up enjoying a lot of our quarterbacks, and I don't want to dismiss what any of them did, but Mark was the guy that you stepped in. And I think Jaden presents that for Washington. Yeah. And I think he also gives this security blanket of this is going to be our guy. We can build the entire team and continue to build the organization around this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you're right. It has nothing to do with all those guys because Jonathan Ogden, J.O., I've gotten to know him, gotten close with him over the years. And I've even asked him when the Ravens, before obviously Joe Flacco came about, and they were trying to find a franchise quarterback, and they had Dilfer and Bowler and Redmond. And when we talked about even Kyle Bowler as the first-round pick, and they drafted him, he said Kyle was a great guy, worked his ass off, just didn't work out. But it does make it challenging for a team when you have to have someone that has to prove themselves instead of someone that's been proven. That's hence Mark Brunell being older. Mark's been there. He's done that. That does matter when you build up that confidence in a team.
I totally believe that if you want to lead, you have to be good.
Yeah.
There's no – you can have guys that are great example leaders, but if you want to lead and build around a guy, he's got to be a stud.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Well, Chris, we appreciate the time. On the way out, you have one story that you hold on to, whether it was you had one hell of a catch that wasn't through drywall, of course. One moment that maybe you just enjoy, or one moment that humbled the hell out of you when you played in the NFL.
I think, and I'm asked sometimes about this, and I think one of my favorite moments, because I was a kid who grew up loving sports, watching every sport. I went to Super Target 2 months after I was drafted, and I bought 38 packs of Topps football cards, and I pulled my own football card out of a Topps pack. And I think that was one of the moments that it became really real. It was exciting for me, and that was because I went to Utah State. My intent wasn't like I think a lot of young guys are, I'm going to go play in the league. And I was going to teach high school art and coach. And it turned in a year that all of a sudden I was getting drafted. And then to go get my football card and then be a part of that team. I ended up starting in the latter part of that year and having a great career. But that was a cool moment for me. I think back, I have a couple young kids. I think about that. They don't really know that I played, but yeah, but that was a moment I'll never forget.
That's awesome.
I think it's the simple things that people forget. These athletes, even though they get to stardom or they get to the league and it seems so glamorous, which look, you got to play a sport that you were passionate about for a living, but it goes back to the little things that actually you hold on to, the people that you meet, and also accomplishing a dream. Pulling a card, I'll say that would have been one of my dreams. If I got to make it to the big leagues, I was hoping to get my card in the big leagues. It was fun being in AA, AAA, and all the ranks that I was, but that would have been one of the moments that would have been really cool. So I appreciate it, Chris. I know I don't even know what the heck you're doing the rest of the day. You're here. You're hanging
out.
And I'll probably be hanging out with you in a little bit when we wrap up our show. But I appreciate you taking time. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, guys.
Chris Cooley,
so
everybody. So yeah, you can rock and roll, do your thing, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks.
Sorry, I gave you a woman handshake.
That's okay. We'll make up for it later.
We'll be back. So we are still rocking and rolling here, guys. And Chris Cooley, Washington legend. And
Great dude.
I think the thing that what we like to do on this show is humanize what the guys do and how they do it and the thought process. I love the conversation about the leadership and scheming.
Yeah.
And also the fact that you get both of that together is the perfect recipe. It doesn't always work out.
Yeah.
And in that case, when they had the Shanahan system, instability at quarterback was a big part of it.
Oh, yeah.
So really interesting. Love it all here. But if you're new to the channel and you love this, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Monday and Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. now. And every Sunday morning, wake up with us as we recap our week. And we'll have some fun things around the community at the same time. We're seeing the Commanders. They're playing at 1. The Ravens, they're playing at 8:20. Our next guest, well, he was a pretty damn good running back for the Baltimore Ravens, helped them win Super Bowl 35.
Zach, you want to switch with me?
Yeah, we want to switch real fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some social stuff.
Great, that'd be great. Brad doing all the work behind the scenes here, guys. We're gonna have Jamal Lewis join us here in a little bit to talk about, and then we'll get into our final fantasy picks. It's 12:44 right now. I know maybe actually, Zach, probably should pull up our graphic at the moment here, just because I don't know if we have Jamal how long it's going to run up till 1 o'clock. So I want to make sure we get our picks in.
We want our best bets or fantasy?
Let's get our best bet in real quickly. So Brad, why don't you come back just right here for a second?
Okay. One of these is not like the other.
Well, let's pull up our best bets of the day here, brought to you by our friends up at Hollywood Casino, Charlestown Races in
West Virginia.
Pull it up. There it is, everybody. So, Zach, you're rocking with the rookie, Tyler Warren, over 35.5 yards. His debut, but that seems like a low number. He was featured a lot in the preseason.
Seems like a low number. We saw at Penn State, they used him like a juggernaut. It was just get him the ball no matter what. And in the first preseason game against the Ravens, you felt like it was the same. I think you got – I don't want to say that it's like poor quarterback play. It's poor. Daniel Jones is poor quarterback play.
Yeah.
Check it down to the tight end whenever you need to.
Yep.
Let's go get it. I'm expecting him to probably get 4 to 5 catches. Let's get over the middle. Find your safety blanket. Tyler Warren, -113, over 35.5 yards.
I think that's good. I think his overall for the season is like 575. I think he's going to crush that. They need weapons as far as that, you got good wide receivers in Pittman and Downs, but you drafted a tight end early this year, 11th overall. He's going to be featured. He's going to be a part and be a security blanket. Now, a guy that's been a security blanket for the entirety of Lamar Jackson's career has been Mark Andrews. Some would say, well, best bet would be that this is going to hammer home, but you know what? Brad's had a history of doing these types of things. And, Brad, you were rocking with Mark Andrews having not just a revenge game. It's almost going to be one of the best games of his career tonight in Buffalo, over 100
Well,
yards.
I don't know. He's gone over 100. Put the camera on me. Put this graphic away. Put the camera.
Put the camera. Well, it's on us right now. Go ahead.
Well, just put the graphic away because I need people to see me. I need to explain myself here because last year Mark Andrews got raked over the coals for the one drop. Okay, his entire career he's been so shorthanded, and a moment of weakness in a really big game. My thing about this is there's no Isaiah Likely. As you had mentioned, Mark Andrews has been the security blanket for Lamar Jackson for the entirety of his career. That man is going to get fed tonight. There's no doubt in my mind. You got Zay Flowers is probably going to be covered a ton. And Mark Andrews, it doesn't matter if he's covered or not. That big old body, that big old target is going to get the ball 100 yards plus 900. Lock it in for Mark Andrews.
Whammy.
Can't say he isn't confident.
Chaz Michaels is figure skating. Mark Andrews over 100 yards. That is what's happening. That's Brad's best bet. And look, I do think Mark's going to be fed early and often this game.
2 touchdowns.
I do have him at 2 touchdowns.
We'll see what happens here. Stay tuned. I'm going to stay in the region, though. I'm going Austin Eckler over 52.5 rushing and receiving. Hell, I'd play it up to 60 or 70. I know Bill, as they call him, has got a lot of hype as a rookie, and he's probably to get some run. People do forget how talented Austin Eckler is. I think he's still going to be a huge focal point of this run and pass game. So I think that's a lock. I lock that one in. Austin Eckler over 52.5. And real quickly, let's hit our Boomer Bust fantasies for the year because we didn't have a chance to do that yet last show. Real quickly, whammy. Hey now, the booms and busts for us this year, guys. Zach, no surprise. Tyler Warren. You're not going with Breece Hall because I'm assuming all the question marks.
I just the Jets offense as a whole scares me because I feel like they are very run heavy almost to the point of predictability. Now we're going to see what happens. And now if Justin Fields steps up as a passer, then this will completely change. But I think they're almost going with more of a, with Braylon Allen and all them, almost like a running back by committee. And it feels like they're going to just be like, we're going to hit you with a million different runs in a million different directions with a million different people. And that doesn't, to me, scream Breece Hall is the workhorse that's going to be getting all these valuable touches. I think Justin Fields steals some touchdowns from him. I think Braylon Allen steals some touchdowns from him. And because of that, he's someone that I'm putting in the bust category. And then Tyler Warren, I just think check down. We saw it work with Brock Bowers last year. Rookie tight end comes in, has a great season. I don't think he goes historic Brock Bowers numbers, like Brock did, but I think he's going to have a very nice season.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. On the other side, Brad, Tyreek Hill is your bust.
Yeah.
A lot of question marks. I think that's why you went there.
Yeah, I mean, look, with Tyreek, he obviously has elite speed. We all know that, but it's the guy throwing him the ball, too. Tua has just not been good. And the injury issues with Tua could probably more than likely arise again this season. I don't even know who the backup is for Miami right now, but the thing of it is you have a lack of consistency, and it doesn't matter who is there. Tyreek is just not going to get the ball like he probably should. Tyreek also didn't really get open as much last year either. Hill averaged just 4.9 catches for 55.3 yards and 0 touchdowns in 8 games without Tua over the past 2 seasons. So if Tua's not healthy, Tyreek's not going to get the ball. And so it's just a huge risk in my opinion, because I just think that Tua, it's inevitable. He's going to miss games this season. So I just don't like that pick at all.
It's a risky one for that. I mean, hey, look, the Cheetah, fast as hell. When he's on, he's on. But there are some question marks. They do have Jalen Waddle. They are going to try to be more physical. They say running the football. We'll see if that happens. but a team that is one of the most dynamic offenses. I know they changed offensive coordinators, but this guy just got paid. Jameson Williams is your boom.
Yeah, so Jameson Williams, I actually made this pick before he got paid.
Yeah.
So 16 receptions with 20-plus yards and average 14.4 fantasy points per game, including games with 22-plus points. Despite the departure of Ben Johnson, as we had talked about, Williams is stepping into a much larger role. Plus, he got paid. That dude's going to go off. I think that if you drafted Jameson Williams, you got to be very happy about that pick.
Oh, no doubt about it there. So we'll see, but clearly the Lions have seen enough. They give him the big deal. Mine, I'm going with the rookie again. Emeka Egbuka is one of my favorite players this year. I think he's going to thrive. I don't know if he'll be in week one. It's a good matchup, but it's rookies. I think Ted with the Panthers as well, but I'm going to go with Egbuka because of the quarterback and Baker Mayfield. I think Godwin's health is a serious question. Not going to be back for at least the first month. Guy's a beast. And my bust, I love Kenny Walker, man, out in Seattle. It's less of what I believe with the talent with Kenny. It's more so of the fact that he's been injury-plagued the last few years, and Zach Charbonnet is going to be involved. I think he's continued to earn the trust.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be hard to keep him off the field more times than not down the stretch. So that's just my worry, but I do love me some Kenny Walker. And that's our fantasy talk for this week, guys, brought to you by our friends over at Hollow Casino here in Charlestown, races in West Virginia. We got one more guest for you guys before we wrap up this 1 o'clock slate. We're going to have former Raven and Brown, Jamal Lewis, join us here in a second. Yeah, whenever he's ready, we'll rock and roll. And we'll close it out right here. Going into
I can't believe it's already week one. That
crazy,
so shocks me. Every time I think about it, it shocks me. And Russ, appreciate you, the super sticker. Appreciate everyone who's tuning in right now, liking, commenting, subscribing, and appreciate all the love over on Facebook as well.
What's up?
As
a long time ago.
Jamal Lewis.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate you taking a little time.
Zach.
Yeah, see, I got to get me one of those in a minute.
Yeah, hey man, you got to.
I had the hair dog, so we're sitting down now with a Ravens legend. And actually, if we're to go back, I know Derrick Henry got to 2,000 yards this past year, but someone did it first.
Are we live here?
We're live right now.
What's up, people?
Yeah,
we in the house. Go Ravens, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, but so Derrick Henry, King Henry's a beast, but you did the 2K thing first in Baltimore. I remember specifically Cleveland at home. I felt like you were off to the races every other run. I thought you were going to go for 350.
Yeah, we should have. If it wasn't for that damn holding penalty or whatever it was on forgot the receiver, we would have had another 40 yards that day, which probably would have put us in the running for the 2105, you know. So I think that was Marcus Washington.
I'm gonna go have to check back on that specific call.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually thought you were going to do it. I know it's down to the stretch. Looking back at that, because I just came from last night, my dad had the 30th anniversary of the 21-31 streak.
Big time.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was a great moment, and you can reflect. You were chasing history with that.
Right.
What was going through your mind going to that last game in Baltimore? It's Pittsburgh, right? Final game of the year?
Right, yeah. Pittsburgh, final game of the year. And usually when I go into a Pittsburgh game, I'm like 90 yards will do. You know what I mean? Like 90 will do. But then I had to go in there to get 100 plus to get over the record. So that kind of took me to the point where I was like, dang, this is gonna be tough. But you know, I never chase numbers. I just like to play the game. But it put me under a lot of pressure, you know, I think going into that last game. But we got close. And I remember they had 10 people in the box. They had one person deep. And I'm like, they're not trying to let me get this. But I do remember we did go into overtime. So I was like, this is great. And then Billick throws the pass across the middle, and we actually received it. We actually caught it. And he went with the field goal. but we was going to the playoffs and stuff. So I was being the bigger man, that year. But at the same time, man, it was a good run. I trained for it. I always wanted to get that single game record when I saw Corey Dillon get it. When I think I might have been a rookie at the time when he got that record, he had 274. And I always said, hey, if I can get two big runs a game, just two big runs, you can chase that down. And you had to get it early. And I remember the Cleveland game, I got the 80-yard run like on the second carry or something like that, maybe first carry.
Oh, yes.
And after that, I said, oh. And we went in at halftime, and Jonathan Ogden was like, we're at 180 yards right now. Like, we can get the record. Yeah. So I told him, I said, well, that's on you. I said, get the boys ready. And Coach Kavanaugh, man, he just dialed it up. He dialed it up. And it was one of them things where I was just in a zone. Everything was working right. Every cut was working. Cleveland was just playing bad football. They weren't tackling. And, man, it was a good day.
Yeah, it was a great day. And, the offensive line, obviously, they set the tone. I wouldn't want to tackle you, dude. I mean, Zach was just saying if we had to put bets on right now.
Yeah, I would take you over 100 right now.
Hey, man, that was the point. I wanted to go in and just hurt people so they wouldn't want to tackle. That made my job easier. You know what I'm saying? So deliver it. And, I was a big Mike Tyson fan. So I was a big fan of going in and just delivering the knockout punch early. And then third and fourth quarter, I could do my thing.
Yeah,
because
they don't want to hit
safeties,
you at that point.
The linebacker, they don't want to do anything after that. So
I look back, you just looked pissed off when you ran every single time. I mean, you had to. And also your rookie year was Super Bowl 35, correct?
Right.
And we know the defense was lights out, arguably the best defense of all time in Baltimore. I surely think so, right?
Definitely.
But you were part of an identity in Baltimore where actually, like, going back to it, it was defense was going to play physical, but then offense, you were going to punch some guy in the mouth. But typically it was run the football. That was you.
Yeah.
I'm curious now, since you mainly did the punching, any of the guys you faced ever punch back almost where you're like, damn, all right, he brings it each time when you meet? I know you ran over a lot of people.
Yeah. But we played the Steelers twice a year, of course. So Ferrier, Foote, Porter, all those guys, they used to corral and they used to get me out of my game, I would say, a lot. They were like the nemesis. But Sean Taylor, I remember us playing against the Redskins, and I saw the hole open up, and I hit it. I said, oh, it's there. Boom, I hit it. As soon as I got through it, somebody just came and just cleaned me up, right? And I was like, damn. So I got back to the huddle. I said, who the hell was that? It was like, oh, that's Sean Taylor, the rookie safety. I was like, damn, he got a hard head. You know what I mean? But that was one of the hardest hits. Al Wilson, my old roommate at Denver, he was another one. But man, it was just it was in the AFC, dude. It was physical. You had to bring a lunch every game, and that's what we, that's we wanted people to know when you play Baltimore, be more careful. That's what we call it. Be more careful, because we wanted to be physical. We wanted to show that, hey, look, when you come to play us, it's gonna be a physical game on offense or defense. So you better bring it. And that's just how I think that's the identity of this team right now. I think that's why Derrick Henry coming in was a great addition. We needed to freshen up our defense a little bit. And I think that's what they did this offseason. But we're going to run the ball. You got Lamar running it and throwing it. You got Derrick Henry. We got some other guys that's back there that can run it. And, we got to play some good defense, So I think getting back to our roots and what we did, I think that'll take us a long ways.
Yeah, it's the roots. And actually, the roots specifically, 25 years ago, the anniversary this year, 25 years when you guys won
right.
the Lombardi, right? Zach was just born.
Yeah.
He's 25 right now. So he was seeing a lot of that. Well, I guess, do you remember him running down people or you were too young? Yeah.
No, actually, you're the first running back. Like when I think of Ravens running back, it was you running over literally every single person in front of you. So that's where I learned to love the run game.
Yeah, I got to say, I know it's all business, but seeing you in a Cleveland uni still, I was like, But I get it. It's business.
It was just business.
It was business. I mean, you were still doing your thing.
Yeah, it was business. That was my retirement home.
Yeah.
But it was good, and it got a chance to let me see more of the NFL from a different light than the Ravens, because the Ravens is a first-class organization, great people, great system, great processes, and a great team. And I came in amongst a bunch of veterans that I was able to learn from. But then when I got to Cleveland, I was the veteran at 28 years old. I was the veteran, and I had all these young guys that didn't understand work ethic, didn't understand, like I had been to a Super Bowl, I had been to playoff games and accomplished 2,000 yards and broke records and done that type of stuff. And these young guys, they didn't get it, So I really learned a lot, by going to play for another team. Yeah. And Phil Savage was there, who was with the Ravens, who actually helped bring me in too. So it was a learning process, but at the same time, it was a good deal. Finished off my career there and retired a Raven.
I got to know now. I like the inner workings of things. There's two questions we can wrap up with, and we can all enjoy our Sunday. The Ravens tonight at 8:20, which obviously Jamal Lewis played for, won a Super Bowl with back in 2000. Were you a big shit talker when you played? Or you just – I know you went against a lot when you played. When you mentioned that James Farrier guys got you out of your game, was there anybody that got you out of your game or just loved to talk, or that they just were so physical? Oh, you're shaking your head already. All right, who was one of the
top? Porter was the worst. Great competitor, but man, they would just talk the whole time, and I wasn't a talker, so I would just listen, and I just try to let my play do the talking,
Yeah.
But after a while, it was like that whole Steelers Ravens rivalry and everything else, and it would just get to me. And my coaches always say, "All right, now we about to play the Steelers. Don't let them, because I would always have a damn fumble. Something would always happen, and I'm like, damn, they just in my head, But I wasn't a big talker, like you said, and I just like to let my game speak for itself. But I could say Foot and Farrier and Porter, they were the most talkers that I ever played against, and really got me out of my game. I can say that. I need to focus better.
Okay. Well, I will say a lot of strange shit seems to happen in Pittsburgh in general. Last year, I feel like it's like death taxes and the weirdest games happen in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Entertaining games, but the recent last 5 to 10 years, I feel like when Baltimore goes to Pittsburgh, something odd happens.
Yeah.
It always does. And it makes the rivalry great. Now I'm going to ask you one thing on your own side. You got to practice against some of the greats. With Ed, with Ray, Suggs. Can you talk about the old days of practice going against some of those groups?
Oh man, it was just I help out with my high school, my son's high school and stuff, and just practice and just it's one of them things where it's like we don't have to be friends out here, Yeah. We can be in between the whistle. We got to compete. We might be on the same team, but we're on different sides of the ball, and we need to compete. And a lot of that, friction that can come on the field, a lot of that competitiveness and talk and chitter chatter and stuff like that out there, like that makes for great playing. It makes for great competition. So I try to teach that, because I've always done it. Me and Ray going up against each other, and the wide receivers and our defense, like just all those great players that I played against and played with on that defense. like it's competition, you know, and it makes you work even harder. And that's one thing I try to instill in our football team, my son's high school team, is you got to compete. You know, go up against the ones sometimes and compete, because you're only gonna make them better, and they're gonna make you better. So that's one of the things that we did at the Ravens. I think me going up against a Ray, it only made me better going up against anybody that I was going to play against on a Sunday, right? And as a whole, you had to move fast. You couldn't slip, you know, in practice, because it was aggressive and it was competitive. And you know, at the end of the day, you had to have bragging rights and you had to be able to talk, because these dudes talk the whole practice, right? So
you don't talk, but they're still talking to you.
Oh man, they're talking the whole time. You just like, but you know, they kind of had the upper hand, so you know, you had to take it.
They could talk the talk, man.
Yeah,
they could
right.
Talk the talk.
And walk it.
You let the game. You let your game speak for itself. Had a hell of a career. Obviously, great run with the Baltimore Ravens. A big part of helping that take home the Ravens' first Super Bowl. They won the second one then 12 years later. We're hoping this will be the year they bring the third. We'll see. But Jamal, I appreciate it. I know you'll be around the area. I'll see you a lot, but go enjoy yourself. I got to get me one of those, though.
Yeah, get you an adult beverage and enjoy yourself. Watch some football. I think it's gonna be a good start. The season's already started out already, so good competition. And man, hey, thanks to you too, man, and your family, man. Just everything you guys have done for Baltimore. I had never been to Baltimore, never been to Maryland, never had been to the Northeast before I got drafted here. And your dad was a big influence here, you know, and everything. And I watched him, followed him, and thanks for everything that you guys have done also.
Well, I appreciate that. I think that people realize when you come to Baltimore, if you don't know about Baltimore, you work your butt off, put your head down, and you embrace the city embraces you.
Right.
So that's why what you did, the city embraced all the work you did. So I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, man. Absolutely. Yep.
I'll see you around in a little bit. Go enjoy. Don't forget your drink. Don't forget your drink.
I don't know if you saw, but Bijan Robinson.
Bijan just took you to the house. Bijan.
We just went about 60 yards to the house.
And Daniel Jones with a 21-yard pass to Tyler Warren. So we might be rocking and rolling on these bets so far.
We're feeling good, baby.
We're feeling good. And you guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live right now at Hollywood Casino up in Charlestown Races. Talked with Jamal Lewis. Talked with Chris Cooley. It's been one heck of a great day so far. But look, you guys are all ready to watch football. We're about to do the same.
I'm ready to watch football.
We're ready to watch some football. So we will be back tomorrow for our Monday show to recap everything.
Hey, before we do that, I didn't get a chance to really talk about this a whole lot. I mean, I know maybe some of you guys did, but I couldn't hear because they turned up the Stevies. But goddamn, Jamal is yoked.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's
If teams need a running back, we know
God damn.
I wouldn't want to tackle him.
No.
Ever. Period. And that's why he was one of the best right now.
Still just in incredible shape. And that guy's just busting through his shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Some would say the same about me. Or not. Guys, we appreciate each and every one of you here. Yeah, where's Oh, no. I got the nice music.
There it is.
All right, but we are back rocking and rolling. Hey, our Rips Better kids, you get some more info who that legend that we're talking with the NFL. If you like the football legends, well, guess what? Got some. If you love the baseball legends, I apologize. You're gonna love the football legends we have going on.
I just need to. Just sometimes when you're good, you're good. Tyler Warren has 43 yards already.
Let's go.
First drive, cash it.
And Geno Smith touchdown, which we all put in there.
Mark Andrews, 100 yards, baby.
Cool. Hey, we're rocking and rolling. And guess what? We're getting better with the Ryan Ripken Show each and every time. Don't you worry about it. Cue the music.
Ravens by $1 million. Ravens by $1 million.
As always, here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking Sunday. Welcome back to week 1 of the NFL. And we're going to join ourselves up here at Hollywood Casino. Yeah! West Virginia!